50,000 watts of power. You're listening to KLOK, San Jose, San Francisco, and Oakland. The most powerful Desi radio station in America. A Universal Media Access-owned radio station.
It's the Tech AM Powerdrive with Kurt Steele, Bruce Mercanti, and Swami Varadhan.
You're listening to Tech AM Powerdrive, turbocharging your mornings with technotainment at its best. We try to make technology as simple as we can, informative, sometimes with a little bit of humor, sometimes with seriousness. If you'd like to join our conversation this morning, and I think some will, with our guest, you can call at 408-912-5565. That's 408-912-5565. If you're driving, use your hands-free, please. Well, we're going to have a special guest now at the top of the hour, Mayur Palta. And, you know, a lot of people in the Valley are either entrepreneurs or work for a tech company or a combination of the two. Our guest today is one of these fellows, and he has a very versatile skill set as a founder of two startups, which we're going to talk about. He's currently in management of a large Fortune 500 company and has worked for others like HP. He has a broad international experience in multiple facets of business and technology. He has started and led two businesses in the field of telecommunications and chemical engineering at a very early age, which we're going to talk about. And he also leads a sales and engineering technology team with a very large Fortune 500 company now, as well as he has in the past. He holds an executive MBA in business strategy and a master's in computer science. Now, he enjoys golf. I don't know where he has time for that. He also does some hiking and whatever free time there is. And also very important is he volunteers at nonprofits like TIE and the American Heart Association in the Valley, and we're going to want to talk about that too. Now, before we get started and I introduce Mayur, I wanted to mention that because he works for a large company that we're not going to give the name of because of their policies, their media policies, what he states and says, which I think is going to be very good, are really his opinions and not the opinion of his current employer. So we just want to make that clear. However, his insights, especially for those of you that are looking to get into this industry, I think he's going to help us with. So Mayur, before we get into some of the questions I have for you, why don't you finish the introduction, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Sure. Thank you so much, Bruce. So let me start by sharing a common experience most engineers go through typically. So recently I was at MIT visiting a friend, and while waiting in his lab, I was staring at a periodic table, a chemical periodic table. And I did that for a good half an hour while waiting for him. A week later, I woke up at 3 in the middle of the night, and I figured that I had a nightmare. And in my dream, I was still in school. And tomorrow morning, I had my chemistry exam. And of course, I have not studied throughout the term. And plus, I had no idea what the exam is going to be about. So the next morning, I call up my friend and I tell him about the experience. And he says, well, he's seen that dream so many times that's just unbelievable. And I was so relieved when I woke up and figured out I was in the Valley. My school was long gone, no more examinations. And so those were the horror days in school of writing exams and studying physics, chemistry, and mathematics. I'm sure some of the listeners may have gone through the experience too.
Well, I'm going to give you a hint on how to avoid that in the future. You see, they say that we dream about the last thing on our mind. Well, if you're brushing your teeth and you look in the mirror, you look so very young, you're probably going to dream about being back in school. So, am I right? This guy looks like he's still in...
handsome guy.
College, first year of college. Maybe.
Absolutely.
Man, and by reading, your bio here, you've been around a while, so you're not as... you're looking good for your age, I take it.
Thank you.
And you enjoyed your time at MIT?
It was so much fun.
It's so much fun. He's dreaming about it years after still. And tell me about your experience there. How was engineering for you? Was that something that you wanted to do or you found interested in early on in your life?
Well, I would tell you that I've dropped out of college twice.
Oh, nice.
And not at MIT,
okay.
by the way. That was an Indian school called IIIT.
Okay.
And And part of the reason why I dropped out of school was I didn't have money to pay for school. And that's part and parcel of growing up in a business family, that sometimes you have money and sometimes you don't.
Right.
And at that point, though I ended up with multiple masters, but I had to ask my grandma for some funds. And she was really sweet. She funded my education, and I'm very thankful to her. That's how I am where I am. Even today, my house in the valley is named after her.
Oh,
and
nice.
I have a quote outside saying, "Grandmothers may hold our tiny hands for just a while, but they hold our hearts forever."
Oh, that's great. That's cute. And is she alive still?
She's not.
Oh, okay. But she saw your success, at least some of it.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. And so, tell me about MIT. You enjoyed your time there?
Yeah, it was fun looking at a number of things which were innovated at MIT. And recently, of course, my friend took me to the spot where this Boston shooting happened.
Oh, okay.
And it was a horror moment for him too, because he was stuck in that incident.
Yeah.
He was house arrest in one of the dorms.
Oh, yeah. That's
So-
horrible. MIT is one of the greatest schools, man. I mean, look at here. We have all the. How do you like Silicon Valley?
Well, I would say Silicon Valley is for like-minded people.
Yeah.
People who like to experiment, people who like to take risks. Though there's a fine line between Vegas and Silicon Valley when it comes to pouring in money into startups.
Yeah, absolutely. We would talk about that all the time when we have all these evaluations. It's mind-blowing how when you don't, because I've never created a company before, how they even come up with these like $40 billion evaluation for Uber. I don't even know how they even, and it increases, right? It was $16 billion 6 months ago. Now it's 40. How do you even increase that $25 billion in 6 months? I have no idea how they have that thought process.
Yeah, there is some insanity in war too, other than financial engineering.
Right, exactly.
You know what I want to ask you about? I was reading an article, and I want to tie this in with a question. You have startup experience, and you were young. I think I read 19, so at least 2 years ago. So you were young, 19, and you were able to do this, and a lot of people find that difficult. I was reading an article. Give me your thoughts on it. It says that the careers in tech, everyone starts somewhere, and students can start today. And they're trying to promote the idea of getting into this field early on, because technology has been in the Bay in the 70s, and yet it wasn't really taught in schools. And even now, most high schools, other than here, do not teach technology. And you can get it in college, but now you've got to pay for it.
Yep,
and
which is
so
pretty expensive.
How do you recommend for our listeners to get into either engineering, as you are, or into entrepreneurship? Give us your thoughts on that.
Sure. I would say most, this is my observation, most times while kids are growing up, we are telling them to conform. To conform to certain social norms, and to do things which everyone else is doing. And suddenly when they grow up, we ask them to be different, to stand out. And this is the yin and the yang in parenting involved. But I would say that especially here in the Valley, if you see most of the entrepreneurs who've been very successful, they are making sure the kids are thinking about startups, their kids are going to tech shows, attending most of the conferences at a very early age. Recently, earlier this year, I would say at Thai, there was a Thai youth forum where you wouldn't believe it, these kids were listening and patiently listening to entrepreneurs talking about their startups and how they took risk and built businesses. And this is serious business. So you can't, you may expect the next Zuckerberg or the next Larry Page coming out of Silicon Valley soon. And this may be, it could be any other part too, based on, especially from universities. And there are this great social ecosystem of like-minded people here in Silicon Valley, that too in Boston. There are certain areas in Austin, and this is being replicated all over the world. Places I was blown away by some entrepreneurs in Toronto. They're doing pretty cool things, finding the next chip to speed up performance, and there are brilliant people all over the world, I would say. But here in the Valley, we're just together.
Imagine these kids now. Everyone's doing technology now. Like, there's kids like high school, junior high coding. You know what I mean? Like it's so addicted to technology. Imagine when they're our age.
See, and that's here in the Valley, but that's not across the country. But even here in the Valley, you know, there's two categories, and I want you to comment on both. One from your experience, because you have both. You have experienced both my questions here. One, you have a learning endeavor which you accomplished, and two, you went into entrepreneurship, 2 startups. So our listeners, you know, driving down now want to get into the IT business. Where do they start their education, especially if they're not at a college level? And if they are, where do they start? How do they start learning the business? As opposed to entrepreneurship, you have an idea, you go develop that. So you got 2 different complete directions in which you have to go. So comment on each of those. Sure.
So to your first question about starting off, I would say it helps to have an engineering background, but you don't need that necessarily. I have people in my teams who've studied psychology or history in school, and they are in tech now. So this is a myth that people think only engineers make good entrepreneurs, or engineers do great in technology. We need all of them. Especially psychology helps people adopt technology. A great profession we'll talk about later, like sales engineering. A psychologist makes a great sales engineer or an engineer, because he can think of things that others may not even think of. Now, I would say between startups and big companies, the choice is there, but the key difference here is startups are meant to find and discover a use case, while big companies are all about a well-defined use case being repeated by people over and over again. So you have to figure out how you are wired. Are you wired for discovering things, discovering new things, new applications for existing technology, or are you wired for repeating the same and scaling, growing existing businesses?
Sure. A lot of people take the direction like Salesforce and that of just bettering what already exists. Mm-hmm. And they write, I'm going to say, somewhat on the backs of some large companies, Salesforce, of course, Oracle. And so you can decide, you know, that direction and where you want to go. Tell us a little bit about your startup experience.
Sure. So let me talk about this startup that I did at a pretty early age. And I was inspired by some of the people in the telecom industry. I know we talk about the guy who started the Indian computer science IT revolution back in the 80s, Sam Petroda. So he was the guy who used to be in the US, was great at startups, very accomplished entrepreneur, and left all of that to take a government job in India and inspire people to learn computers, working with the office of the Prime Minister. And this was really inspirational in the sense that I would say that is part of the reason why most people adopted technology, went into engineering, learned computers, and you've seen a number of great accomplishments. So my startup was really about a telecom company, where this was before the mobile era. I ventured into putting in landline infrastructure with the potential of offering internet and cable in the future. So it was a little ahead of its time, and plus very crowded market, very aggressive competition. Where it landed, I would say I made a number of different mistakes, hiring the wrong set of people, designing the wrong sales compensation. Even technology became obsolete over time. And once I reached a critical mass, I stopped prospecting, which is pretty critical. Or you stop listening to customers. That's typical too. Different from the Valley, where some companies die of too much money and indigestion, I would say. So I ended up shutting down the business at the time that mobile became very attractive in India. Every big company looked at 1 billion subscribers and jumped in with all the money muscle they had. And it was sort of like a price war, I would say. And this is what we see here happening with companies like Amazon too, where it's drive to zero margin. It doesn't matter. You're offering things to customers, but you're not thinking of profit margin. And over time, whether it's your employees or your stockholders, they lose patience.
No, absolutely. We want to continue this thought, and we're going to, after our commercial break, we do have to pay the bills. We're talking with Mayur Palta, and we have a lot more we want to ask him about. If you're interested in getting into sales engineering, into the IT world, then he definitely can direct you on the best way to do so and the correct steps. So now let's go to our commercial break.
If you're tired of professional, personal, and financial setbacks, then sign up today for Breakthrough 2015, presented by Shalimar Restaurant of Sunnyvale, happening on Saturday, December 20th at the Hilton Doubletree in San Jose. Join renowned success coach and human change expert Srini Sarapalli as he guides you in eliminating those setbacks and breaking through barriers to help you lose that weight you've always wanted to lose to look and feel healthy again. Beat the stress that has been wearing you down so you have energy to do what you love to do, and get the job you enjoy so your career is rewarding to you. Srini will coach, train, position, and empower you to help bring out the best in you and live the life you deserve. Registration is only $30 and includes dinner at Shalimar Restaurant in Sunnyvale. Seats are limited, so register today at Desi1170am.com. That's Desi1170am.com.
Your car is not just a car, it's your style statement, your attitude, and part of your personality. And Mohammed Feroz of Fletcher Jones Motor Cars takes that seriously. For all of your Mercedes-Benz service needs, contact Mohammed Feroz of Fletcher Jones Motor Cars at 510-279-2433. That's 510-279-2433. Or visit mboffremont.com.
Attention software engineers. Learn big data and Hadoop programming with intensive hands-on training in Santa Clara by InfoObjects. New classes start soon. Enroll today at infoobjects.com or call 408-988-2000. That's 408-988-2000.
If you haven't done your individual or business tax filings or your bookkeeping or payroll for your business, then you need to make an appointment today with one of the best CPAs in the Bay Area, Sanjeev Gupta CPA. The mantra of Sanjeev Gupta CPA and his team of experts is education, compliance, and complete satisfaction in all areas of accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, and tax filings. Set up an appointment today by calling 510-825-7563, 510-825-7563, or visit sanjeevcpa.com. That's SANJIVCPA.com.
Hi, this is Aisha Diol. I recently started using the Rosemary and Amla Hair Oil Shampoo and Conditioner from ApsaraSkincare.com. I'm so happy to go natural with my hair care, and so far my hair feels soft and shiny. I encourage you all to use the Rosemary and Amla Hair Oil Shampoo and Conditioner from Apsara Skincare. Visit ApsaraSkincare.com and go natural today. I went natural with Apsara Skincare and I love it. Go natural, it's good karma.
You worry about causing the slightest inconvenience when your family comes to visit you in the U.S. With Visitors Coverage, you have one less thing to worry about. Log on to visitorscoverage.com for the best travel insurance for visitors to the USA.
Now, back to the Tech AM Power Drive on Desi 1170.
Here we go, Tech AM Power Drive. Welcome back, everyone. Technology and entertainment. We try to be funny. We try to be clear. We try to be informative. That's our goal. That's our attention. 408-912-5565. Bruce Wayne Mercanti is in the house. Swami Varadin, we are here, and we have a great, great guest, and we're talking about entrepreneurship, MIT. Any of you engineers or wannabe engineers right now, you're listening. Maybe you're in high school. Maybe you're in college. Great, great place to call. 408-912-5565.
You know, with the economy and everything going on, there's a lot of money in the valley here. There's a lot of money in startups. For those who don't feel they're quite ready for a startup and they want more knowledge, you know, I was reading some large companies just the other day, and I know you're in charge of a sales force, but I was reading a large company that's very aggressively seeking and looking for sales, you know, people. Where would one get started? What are you looking for? If they're not qualified now, what should they be doing to become qualified to get into some of these large enterprise companies?
Yeah, let's talk about it for a second. There are two parts to this, and the first part is really about when we start working in the tech industry, typically we land up roles which are in development, in managing tech operations, doing technical administration. What we find is most people just get bored after a few years of work, doing the same thing, back-end jobs, no interaction with customers, not really solving any real-world problems. It's really about more geeky tech stuff. And over a period of time, we realized that there are certain skills we need in order to go start off on our own. And those skills are really first the ability to interact with customers, the ability to solve a diverse set of problems, the ability to be more visible and measurable and develop those either communication or articulation skills. So I would say it's all about that mastery, autonomy, and purpose that's required. And there are certain jobs, roles, which help you do that. One of those is being a sales engineer. So it's not a quota-carrying salesperson, but a sales engineer, a person who acts as a technical glue for helping customers adopt technology. Another role like that is being a product manager, because that's what you do as an entrepreneur. You have a product, you're looking into the future and saying, what feature set can I put into this product so that more number of customers would adopt this technology? So a role of a sales engineer is a great one to start too, if you have a skill set in existing technology, whether it's Java, whether it's .NET, C, you code, or if you work on a vendor platform such as most we hear of Oracle, Salesforce, SAP, and so forth. And this gives you the opportunity to interact with customers. This gives you the opportunity to solve a diverse set of business problems. And the sales impact is fairly visible. You're always on a track towards mastery, getting better, deep into technology. And I would say a dean at UC Berkeley at the Haas School of Business recently, I asked him what the role of the future may look like. And he said it would be like a T. The T really has that one skill set where you're really deep, while you have the breadth of a number of different technologies on top of it. And sales engineer is one such role. And product management is another such role, which gears you up, makes you more comfortable, ready with meeting with customers, helping them adopt your technology, leverage your technology to make business decisions, and over time you can start on your own.
Good direction, I say, Swami, for
smart
those who
guy.
want to get into it. There's so many facets, angles that you can take in this, even if you're coding. There's so many ways now that you don't even have to know all the different methods. It's all done for you. Sales engineering, same thing. As long as you have the basics, you can really take a career and go places in this industry, because they're looking for people that, A, know how to talk about it and know how to communicate where technology is going. Which kind of brings me to the next question. Where do you feel the tech industry is going? What if you were to get involved starting over right now, where would you get involved? But before we do that, you had two startups. We talked about one. Did you want to mention your second startup company?
Sure. Actually, you know what? Real quick, let me just announce who you are. Mayur Palta is here, and can I give our listeners your Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay, Mayur Palta, MAYURPALTA, MEAYURPALTA. Just tweet him, tell him how great he is on the radio. He might be quitting his job now and his entrepreneurship and become a radio DJ full time.
Thank you.
If you'd like to talk to Mayur, you can do so by calling 408-912-5565. If you have any questions on how to get into this industry and succeed, we've got the person here that has the talent and has proven ability to do so. So tell us about your second startup, Mayur.
Sure. And let me frame it in the form of a story with the key emphasis on listening skills. And this is one of the most important skill, which is very undervalued, I would say. So as we all know, over the last 10, 15 years, China became the manufacturer of the world. And in the process, a number of different manufacturing hubs around the world were losing steam. One of them was India, and I was in the middle of all of this. So my family was involved into business of offering chemical raw materials to the rubber manufacturers, and within 6 months, 500 manufacturings were gone. And out of the blue, one of our customers ordered a very minute quantity of a product, the chemical which goes into manufacturing rubber and a couple of other applications. But I was really curious to know why is he ordering this product? What is he going to do with it? Because he's not in the same industry at all. The fortunate thing here was that the customer was willing to sit down for lunch and explain to me how to build your business in his industry from the ground up with clear set of instructions on how to go about it. And I would say sometimes that is all that it takes to build a business. You just need a customer who's willing to invest in you and help you see through the end of the tunnel. And I would say that business is still thriving, and that's the basic premise there is keep listening to customers, keep them close. Even if you look at large tech companies, that's how they do it. That's how they are able to compete with small startups, because they're keeping their customers close. They have customer advisory boards. They have people who do customer experience management, and that's where most of the ideas, the innovations, the next thing comes from.
Just keeping up with the change is got to be tremendous. I'm every day, because all I do is read and study tech for the show. The change and everything taking place is just so fast and so enormous. Which brings us, we need to actually do a tech news and another commercial break.
Should we do tech news right now?
We can...
or should we go to commercial break first?
Let's do commercial break and then
commercial break, let's pay the bills. When we get back, tech news here on Desi 1170 AM.
Desi 1170 AM invites you to celebrate India Post's New Year's Eve party on 31st December at San Jose Airport Garden Hotel. Enjoy electrifying music by a live DJ, midnight champagne, a balloon drop, non-stop bhangra, live singing as well as on-site daycare. Don't miss a beautifully choreographed night with Brazilian samba, Latin salsa and Egyptian belly dances. Call 510-565-9993. Visit sulekha.com/IndiaPost or desi1170am.com for details.
Ask any one of my friends and they'll tell you that I don't like dentist offices. Well, who does? So when I discovered I needed gum surgery, I figured I'd be like everyone else and just keep putting it off. But when I visited Panu Dental Group, they told me about their laser gum procedure. Let's just say it calmed my nerves. No cuts, no stitches, just a simple procedure that got me in and out and on with my day. I didn't want to be one of those who waited until it was too late. Well, thanks to Panu Dental Group, I can proudly say I was smart to make the choice of laser gum treatment.
At Panu Dental Group, you're getting FDA-approved laser surgery with no stitches or cuts. Visit panudental.com. That's panudental.com or call 800-360-9250. Panu Dental Group is your multi-specialty family dentist. Visit panudental.com or call 800-360-9250. 800-360-9250. A free consultation is required to check if you qualify. Call 800-360-9250.
एक घंटे से कंप्यूटर पे बैठे हो, what are you doing?
अरे यार, I'm looking for an insurance quote.
मेरी बात मानो. Let's do what Vidhi and Ankit did. They went to Ladi ji.
Of LSG Financial?
Yeah, he actually shopped around with more than 15 different companies and got them a life insurance plan that was best suited for their needs.
Oh wow, really?
Yes, itna hi nahi, he's also doing their estate plan.
Ladi Duty, independent certified financial planner, serving our community at 3 Bay Area locations: Pleasanton, Fremont, and Santa Clara. For more information, visit lsjfinancial.com or call 408-373-5570.
Are you tired of dealing with so many vendors to handle all your company's IT needs? At Raise Networks, we specialize in providing a one-stop shop to handle all your company's IT requirements. Visit our website at raisenetworks.com or call us at 408-854-6606.
Did you know that Sunnyvale Ford has special financing and pre-negotiated X-Plan pricing for Silicon Valley high-tech and temporary visa workers? Did you know that Sunnyvale Ford offers prime rate for lease and purchase to you even if you have just arrived to the US? Here are some examples of offers. 2014 Ford Fusion Hybrid SC, $129 a month. VIN 151345 161273 for 24-month lease. Come in or visit them online at www.sunnyvaleford.com.
You worry about causing the slightest inconvenience when your family comes to visit you in the U.S. With Visitors Coverage, you have one less thing to worry about. Log on to visitorscoverage.com for the best travel insurance for visitors to the USA.
Now, back to the Tech AM Power Drive on Desi 1170 AM.
Tech AM Power Drive, turbocharging your weekdays Monday through Friday. Techno Tape by Technology and Entertainment. Call us, join us, 408-912-5565. Mayur Palta is here. Mayur Palta at Mayur Palta, Mayurpalta. Swami Varadhan, Bruce Wayne Mercanti, and we're all talking about engineering, technology, and you. 408-912-5565. Bruce, great guest today.
There is, and we are now going to Tech News.
Tech News, no pressure.
The Tech AM Power Drive's Tech News.
You see Mayur looking at you very, very, very intensely. He's wondering what your Tech News is going to be about. Tech News is brought to you by Sanjeev Gupta, CPA. Bruce, what do we have?
Well, I'm going to get you guys' opinion on this one. This is a mood-changing headset, Thinks, that uses electrodes to perk you up. So alcohol and coffee is about to get competition from a set of electrodes that you wear on your head. So it's a headset branded the Thinks. That's THYNC, pronounced Think. And it's supposed to give you a calming effect like you would feel after having a drink of alcohol. But it also is supposed to have a similar effect to a cup of coffee. So it gets you, up and ready to go. I don't know how it's going to do that, but and technically what this does is you use your phone and you can deliver current of electricity that they say is scientific that now goes to the brain and either soothes you and gives you, these feelings. A session is about 10 minutes that lasts up to 45 minutes. Now here's the thing, it doesn't work for everyone. So about a third of the people didn't have a strong result. In fact, the writer of the article said he didn't, he felt the sensation of the electricity, but didn't have any serene feeling, nor did he feel like after a cup of coffee. However, they did run their own test on about 3,000 people, and a lot of them, in fact, most of them did feel that their feelings were enhanced, that they did have this calming effect, and that they did feel, motivated by it. So they're going to start selling it this next year in 2015. It reminds me of the days when they thought you were crazy, they'd shock you. They have cures for just about anything. We're all looking for at the end of a tough day, something to relax without taking illegal drugs, of course. So the headset called Think, THYNC, is now going to be on the market. You may want to give it a try to end your days comfortably.
Well, that is interesting tech news, very thoughtful tech news. Tech News Feature is brought to you by Sanjeev Gupta, CPA. If you need any kind of help with your accounting services, such as starting up a business, bookkeeping, payroll, or tax services, visit sanjeevcpa.com, SANJIVCPA.com, or just call Sanjeev Gupta, CPA, 510-825-7563, 510-825-7563. I don't know about that, but we'll see. I mean, for me, I like to meditate. I like to do something called sleeping. That helps me out a little bit. Relax a little so you don't get nightmares about engineering. Relax. And I don't know, but what do you think about this headset?
I think it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's kind of, it's probably going to take off because every time I say something doesn't work, it always works.
Would you try it, Swami?
Absolutely. Can you imagine? Well, does it give you, relaxes you, but also gives you some energy, does it not?
Well,
like coffee and tea.
I guess different people, yes, exactly.
So I could be wearing these headphones and at the same time getting energy while I'm on the air.
If it works for you. A lot of people don't, but a lot it does. And I don't care if it's placebo. If it works, it works.
Absolutely.
But they are, there's a lot of studies in the medical field on the power and the ability of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Some people actually can control their heart rate.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can control pain. Others can't. So I think it's appropriate that it works for some and doesn't others. But then I'm a firm believer that some of us just are able to use parts of the brain others can't.
Just the idea of someone creating stuff like that. I mean, Mayur, you're an entrepreneur twice. I mean, can you just, imagine all these kids, these people creating ideas that you just are like, oh wait, that's genius.
Well, what I like about Think is they didn't just take a product, say this is what it does, and sell it, which a lot of products do that. They don't have any scientific studies. They ran a study, and they've got scientific evidence that it actually does work on a lot of people. So I like when they do that. Let's get back to Mayur Palta. We're talking technology and getting into the field of technology. And the last subject that we were talking about is, where do you think it's heading? What is the trend? Big data, of course, is one.
Yes, big data is definitely one major one of those.
Right.
I would say the three big themes that we've been hearing again and again in the Valley are cloud, mobile,
right,
and big data.
Right.
And what we are seeing is a number of business models are being engineered around a combination of any permutation combination of big data, cloud, or mobile.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do big data in the cloud. I want to offer a cloud offering which does a combination of existing technologies which already exist and just port them into the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of money is waiting to be invested in the Valley, and it's just about great ideas and legitimate businesses. But the key thing is there's a lot of accelerated change that we are seeing in the market, and that's why all these big players are making their moves now. For example, IBM exited the chip business. For example, companies like HP, companies like eBay are either splitting or spinning off key entities based on pressures from stockholders or the changes that they see in the market.
Right.
Then another thing which is happening is the co-CEO model, which is becoming very fashionable at Fortune 500s now, which is you have two people managing the business, which was very difficult back in the day to do. And there are companies going private. TIBCO just went private this week, and so was Dell some time ago. So, listen, I would say capital is easily accessible, and there are a number of different buzzwords and technologies which are accessible, especially big data. And the key thing is applying big data to a day-in-a-life scenario is what makes it exciting. So your expression or your observations as an entrepreneur of where you can apply the technology is what makes your business unique. Retailers are thinking of offering coupons when you enter the mall using a beacon in your mobile. People are thinking of the 2-second advantage before something happened, anticipating it and trying to keep the customer. If somebody takes a product out of the cart on your e-commerce site, I'm trying to. It gets creepy that you're offering him a coupon to keep him and make sure. Oh, I observe you took this off the cart. Here's another 10% off. Would you like to buy it now? So there are a number of use cases. All of this is all about trying to understand the consumer behavior.
It is amazing, and you mentioned it with real-time analytics, what it's doing with big data. Companies trying to adapt to it, trying to adapt to the cloud. Now with some of the security issues, I think it slowed it down a little bit, but I think the cloud's the future. In fact, I want to talk about that a little bit in a minute because it's one of our ongoing controversies as to the cloud and to the extent that it's going to take over things. That with big data. Because they with just the two of them, for large companies and enterprises, it creates the problem of putting everything into the cloud, quickly and everything. So we want to talk about that. But before we do, we have one other little thing we have to do that we do every morning called our tech quiz, and we're going to do that now.
Tech AM Powerdrive's Tech Fact.
Tech Fact is brought to you by Strategism. What do we have today, Bruce?
Okay. Question 1. I got a couple questions here for you guys.
Okay.
What's the average medium age of founders when they started their current companies? The average age. Swami?
Okay, I can go first.
Go
I know
ahead.
Swami's looking at me with a lot of aggression. He's trying to win. Very competitive guy.
Yeah, he is.
I would say this somewhere around 26.
Okay.
That's a good question. I say 22.
Well, you guys are off. It's actually 40.
Wow.
Okay. So he
Since,
said 26.
What
so
year?
he-
What year is that
My year
from?
still gets it. Now, here's a follow-up question to that, though. the people between these two ages, this is a 10-year span, have the highest rate of entrepreneurship in America. Okay, what is that 10-year span? The most people have entrepreneurship. Now, keep in mind the first question, and now what's the answer to the second one?
The 10-year span between 32 and 42.
Sure.
Okay, I say 20 and 30.
Okay, 55 to 64.
You I don't know where you're getting your tech facts from.
And the point of this tech fact is age doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
Because most entrepreneurs, the majority of them are between the ages of 55 and 64.
Wow.
Not that they can't start young, you have a lot, but those who are existing today, the majority are between the ages of 55 and 64. Okay, so actually, Mayur got both those.
Yeah,
so
a
by
lot
default.
of curveballs today.
Yeah, no.
All
He's an
right.
entrepreneur. He knows this stuff. He's ahead of the game.
Okay, now a lot of people, not a lot, some people have decided to get into entrepreneurship because they wanted to build wealth. That was their main goal. Now, there's a lot of reasons you do, as you know, but what % of people did it mostly because they wanted to build wealth?
Roughly 40%.
Okay.
I say 15.
You're getting crushed, Swami. It's actually 78%.
Wow.
And again, the point of the article they're trying to make is nothing wrong with trying to make money. There's got to be other reasons, but nothing wrong with trying to make money. So that's our tech quiz for the day.
Oh, sweet. Tech fact. This is a really fun tech fact. Tech fact is brought to you by Strategism. Strategism is passionate about your success. They offer training in PMP, BA, QA, Salesforce, Hadoop, and much more. Don't wait for opportunity to happen. Make it happen today by calling Strategism at 1-877-648-0004, 877-648-0004, and visit strategismtechnology.com. I love Strategism because they keep sponsoring our tech fact, even though I keep losing every week. So good for them. Age is not a hindrance when you want to be successful. I guess that's the point of the tech fact today.
Exactly. Yeah, I wanted to, another article that I read, I wanted to get your opinion on because it may be the direction that a lot of people could go, including yourself, is they're saying that India is on the verge of a tech gold rush. And this article was pointing out, by the way, the top cities attracting LinkedIn members with tech skills, the top cities. The first, where do you think the United States comes in that? Out of the top 10 of companies, cities that you have more people on LinkedIn with tech skills, where do you think the U.S. falls in out of the top 10? Just a while ago.
I say, I'll say number 2.
Okay.
I would say number 6 or 7.
Okay.
Very good. It's actually number 5. The top 4 are all India companies. Bangalore. You guys help me with the names. Pune, Hyderabad, and Chennai.
Yeah. I think you pronounced all of them correct.
Yeah, that's good. Well, you're Indian. He's more Indian than we are.
Those are the top 5. And so what this article is bringing out is that last year India pulled in $1.8 billion in venture funding. That's good news. Versus China, which is still $3.5 billion. But they're saying that India is really taking off, that the more and more of the citizens there are getting on the internet. I think they said it was like more than 2/3 now. I'd have to find that. What do you think of that, Mayur?
I would say there are 3 reasons why it's a pretty attractive market. One is, first and foremost, people are very comfortable. The process of starting a business in places in Asia is much convenient. I know this morning you were talking about the cost of starting a business, which consumes a lot of your energy and wealth upfront. Mm-hmm. So starting a business, registering a business, getting the process of getting some funding is much easier, much accessible. Okay. And some contribution to that is thanks to Silicon Valley of bringing this notion, the concept of sister cities. Silicon Valley, San Jose with Bangalore, there are other places doing partnerships for e-governance with the local communities. The second reason that is the notion of people in some of those cities are very comfortable with uncertainty. And remember I talked about the repeatable use case at a large company versus finding a new use case. It's all about being comfortable with uncertainty. And the affinity towards what the outcome is going to be. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. People are very comfortable with that. And the notion of failure or the fear of failure is going away. And because these are not the people who have always been there. These are people who've traveled, lived in different parts of the world, worked at different companies, who've gone back and figured out it must be just better to start a business with this brain drain or the gold rush rather than staying put. And some part of that is also the government immigration reform, which we recently talked about. I won't go there, but these are certain reasons which may encourage people who are documented to be undocumented, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we probably should, because if you get me started on that, because that's one of the main issues of this article, is that a lot of the people from India can't get their visas renewed, and so they've been forced, to start up or do more in India. By the way, my number was wrong. It's 25% are now on the internet in India, which is about 1.2 billion people on the internet, which is increasing that. We're going to have to go to a commercial break, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about those three items that you just mentioned.
Join Desi 1170 AM on Sunday, December 21st for Eye Care, a food, clothing, blanket and toy drive hosted by Royal Palace in Fremont in association with Peacock Restaurant and Zam Supermarket. Food, clothing and toys will be collected for needy families in the Bay Area. Blankets will be collected for homeless in India. Come meet the hosts of 1170 and enjoy cultural performances, music and contests throughout the day. Food will be provided to attendees by Peacock Restaurant. The event is free to attend, but you must register. For more information on how you can make a difference today, visit desi1170am.com. Let's be the difference that makes a difference.
If you haven't done your international tax compliance by filing forms such as FBAR, Form 8939, Form 5471, Form 3520 for your individual and business tax requirements, or if you're not sure of what type of business structure to set up to maximize your deductions, then you need to make an appointment today with one of the best CPAs in the Bay Area, Sanjeev Gupta, CPA. Call today, 510-825-7563. That's 510-825-7563. Or visit sanjeevcpa.com. That's SANJIVCPA.com.
Your car is not just a car, it's your style statement, your attitude, and part of your personality. And Mohammed Feroz of Fletcher Jones Motor Cars takes that seriously. For all of your Mercedes-Benz service needs, contact Mohammed Feroz of Fletcher Jones Motor Cars at 510-279-2433. That's 510-279-2433. Or visit mboffremont.com.
Hi, this is Aisha Diol. I recently started using the Rosemary and Amla Hair Oil Shampoo and Conditioner from ApsaraSkincare.com. I'm so happy to go natural with my hair care, and so far my hair feels soft and shiny. I encourage you all to use the Rosemary and Amla Hair Oil Shampoo and Conditioner from Apsara Skincare. Visit ApsaraSkincare.com and go natural today. I went natural with Apsara Skincare and I love it. Go natural, it's good karma.
Want a raise? A better job? Feeling stuck in your career and seeing no ladder going upwards? Fear not. Canvas Infotech can help you. PMP, CSM, CSPO, ITIL, MS project certifications can open doors for your career that you didn't even know exist. Rise above the cloud by attending workshops with Canvas Infotech certified trainers. Call us now at 855-5-CANVAS. That's 855-522-6827. Or visit canvasinfotech.com or email us at info@canvasinfotech.com.
You worry about causing the slightest inconvenience when your family comes to visit you in the U.S. With Visitors Coverage, you have one less thing to worry about. Log on to visitorscoverage.com for the best travel insurance for visitors to the USA.
Now, back to the Tech AM Power Drive on Desi 1170 AM.
Tech AM Power Drive, turbocharging your weekdays Monday through Friday. It is December 9th, 2014. Thanks for joining us. Technology and entertainment Bruce Wayne Mercanti. Swami Verdin is here, and we're talking all things tech. Mayur Palta, he's a two-time entrepreneur. Mayur Palta, MAYURPALTA at Mayur Palta. That's his Twitter. And go ahead, tweet him. Tell him how great he is on the radio, how great he sounds with me. And Kurt Steele, I know Kurt Steele's listening. He's wondering, who is this guy taking my job?
So, back to India, the internet is mainstream there today. And because of what's happening, with immigration in the United States. And I find that interesting. And again, not to get in it, but we want qualified people that can contribute to the country, and yet they're doing it legally and not being able to renew their visas. And we're looking at bringing in 5 million that are here illegally. So, go figure. I guess that's why I'm not a politician or running the country. But, India, that's what's happening now is you have different parts of the world. Look at China, look at Korea, that are getting into tech and that are, in some instances, surpassing, what's happening, but certainly catching up. What's your thoughts on that?
I would say there are new hubs being formed. I was blown away by the fact that how much tech exists in places like Ireland.
Oh, sure.
As well as places like Manila in Philippines. And these are the new tech centers of the world. And it's all about trying to figure out, for of course, big companies, it's about trying to figure out skilled labor, people who can do a consulting engagement for cheaper and still have the local know-how. And going back to the fact of, if you look at the fact, when I came to the U.S., I was looking at all these cars on the freeway, and I figured U.S. imports cars from all over the world. It's getting oil, which is changing. The price fluctuates every day because it's getting oil from different places. Now it's different. But what do they really get from India? And I see people. And it was about getting some skills, and that's what I saw. If you really think what we import from places like India is that science, math, physics, engineering background.
I know Kurt Steele, our host, does a lot of overseas business with Bangalore. In fact, nightly, he's on Skype, getting information, having them do, coding and etc. So very, very involved with what's going on. And I think it's great. You're not going to slow down technology. The change is immense. We're probably not going to be able to get to it today, but I still think the cloud is the future. Big data, of course, like he says, real-time analytics is crazy these days with what they can do. Also, I was reading about you, and boy, you're a very involved guy. We have a caller?
We got a caller right now. Mr. Perry's on the line. Mr. Perry, say hi to everyone.
Yes, hi. I'm Perry Mistry, Purushottam Mistry, and I have a comment that there are about 300 engineering students coming from India to San Jose State University, and I have been discussing them for the last 5-7 years, and more than 50% of the students say, we just come to San Jose State for our engineering skills in biotech, pharma, semiconductor. We want to go back to India and work on new technology plants which are coming up in India. We don't want to stay in USA.
What say you about that, Mayur? That's probably a good point, Perry.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, Perry. I would say that's exactly what the mindset is. And Swami and I were talking about this, and most people who are just graduating, they have so many choices. They have so many options available to them. It's not just about going and working in the field of engineering at a big company or a startup. They really want to lead the way, experiment early on their career when they can, and they don't have obligations with regards to family or kids. And this is the new trend. There's so many more choices available, because capital is easily accessible, and so is talent and people and mentorship from the right people. So this is the new trend.
Thank you very much, Perry, for the thought and calling in. Mayur, give us a quick. You only got a few.
He only has about 30 seconds.
Oh. I was going to ask about tying to American Heart Association. Let me say this then. We'd love to have you back. I think we just scratched the surface on what you can offer our listeners. especially to get into the entrepreneurship. I also would like to dive into a little bit more about the other company that you work for when you're able to speak about it more openly, because I think what they're doing, where they're headed, is actually huge. So thank you very much for coming to the show. Any closing thoughts from you?
Thank you so much. I would say just two things, since we have 15 seconds left. Just believe in yourself and take risks. This is the right place for you to do that, to believe in yourself and take risks. Because a few years from now, you may look back and say, I should have taken more risks.
Thank you very much. Tech AM Powerdrive, turbocharging your weekdays Monday through Friday. Technotainment, Bruce Wade Mercanti, Swami Varadin, the Indian Oprah, Shrija is coming up shortly. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.